Hey everybody, we're back!
So today we've got part 2 of our amazing chat with legendary Terri Hardin.
Revenge of the Terri.
Revenge of the Terri. Listen, if you caught the first one, which I know a lot of you did, you're going to love the second one. Lots of cool stories still to come, and I'm really excited, so let's get to it, huh?
Yeah, so let's go talk to Terri.
Let's go.
I have a little friend that my mom sent me that you might recognize.
Oh my goodness.
So this show was my childhood.
Oh.
I loved the show Dinosaurs growing up. So when I was doing research and trying to find out, what we know you're an Imagineer, we know you carve pumpkins, but what has she done? I was like over the moon when I found out that you helped create Not the Mama. Like that was the best of my childhood. But what I found out was that there were 3 of you making this one thing work, right?
Yes.
So
yes.
How does that work? Where you sandwich? Because if you're the arms, was there a head above you and a leg below you?
Yeah. I tell people that I would go home smelling like Kevin Clash, who was the voice and the head performer of Baby Sinclair, and he also was Elmo at the time. Kevin was the head puppeteer like this. Okay. I was slammed up against his back with my arms most of the time in Baby Sinclair's arms. Wow. And then across from us, about anywhere from 10 feet to 12 feet away, was John Kennedy, who made the eyes work and the eyebrows work, audio and animatronically. Baby was a very heavy puppet to operate. He was 70 pounds.
Wow.
Big baby.
Yeah. Wow.
It's a big
baby. I feel bad for Mama Sinclair giving birth to that thing.
Yeah, and Kevin was so strong. Wow. He could hoist this thing up like this.
Yeah.
The sequence where Baby Sinclair gets upset because there's a little creature that keeps stealing his cookies.
Yes.
Yeah, and he blows the thing and he crawls. This is all over our heads. Kevin has got the baby over his head, and then I've got a mechanism that goes like this that makes the hands go like this. Okay. So I'm standing behind Kevin going like this, while Kevin's going like this with the head, and then John's off making the brows and eyes work. And the thing that really makes this so great is that puppeteers are the ultimate team players. We have to be, we have to work as one.
Yeah.
So people will say, what's the difference between a pro and a not so pro? A not so pro puppeteer is going to want to see the fingernails wiggle all the time. So if you get someone who is not a professional, Ghostbusters comes to mind, because Ghostbusters thought that they were going to get a bunch of secretaries and, pull people in for $5. And they tried that, and the characters went.
Oh, well, and you did multiple characters, right? You did the librarian, the Stay Puft Marshmallow Man, and then the dogs, right? Yeah. Zool, the dogs of Zool.
Yeah. So Dinosaurs. Originally, I was going to play Charlene Sinclair, which was done by the external, the puppeteering part.
Right.
Okay. The part that does all of the facial expressions and stuff. And then inside the suit was a young lady who was not to Henson's thinking. Henson's just thought that they could do better. And unfortunately for that girl, she was then let go, and they put Misha Sisti in, and he was Michelangelo, the Ninja Turtle.
Yeah.
Okay. So he just an amazing performer, and they came to me and they told me they were going to replace me as well with my good friend Bruce Lanoil. And that's when I started to get really nervous and upset, because I thought they were going to fire me, and I really, really wanted to be on this production. But they said, no, we're going to move you over to Team Baby, and you're going to be Baby's arms with Kevin Clash. We think you'd be good there. It was the best thing that ever happened to me. It was the #1 character. The favorite character of all was Baby Sinclair. So we did commercials, we did music videos, we got to do a lot of stuff that the other characters didn't get to do. And Henson kept asking me if I wanted my own character, and I was like, not really.
Yeah,
you were totally fine. Happy. Yeah. And they had trouble understanding that, because it was Baby's arms,
Right.
And in the credits, they don't acknowledge the assistant puppeteer. That's a Brian Henson thing, not a
Right.
Jim Henson
Yeah.
thing. Jim always would acknowledge the entire makeup, but whatever and Brian kept saying, in Henson's, we don't do that. And I'd say, well, that's absolutely stupid because Kevin can act his backside off with the head. And if I go like this, good luck.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. You
Yeah.
don't
Go
have
and
to
try it.
Exactly.
Yeah,
Yeah.
try it. The arms ain't moving. Try it. You know, so you need everybody. Everybody is equally as important.
Yeah.
And I wasn't saying that because of me. I was just saying the whole.
No,
No, in
It's
general,
true,
though,
yeah,
it is
yeah.
true. Yeah.
100%.
But they
staying
kept
on
thinking
that-
your ego should be better. You should have a bigger
Yeah.
ego. You should want more. And I kept thinking, I've been a puppeteer since I was 10 years old.
Yeah.
And so, and I had been in shows. Many of them had not been successful. I had done tons of pilots and then they only go, die.
Yeah.
I had done a few shows and stuff like that. And then when I got Dinosaurs, I was just happy to be a part of the whole production. I did a lot of eye movement for performers. So a
Right.
lot of times the performers who did the other characters would want someone separate on eyes.
Mhm.
Yeah.
That way they could kind of direct and say, okay, that was pretty cool, but I want him to look over here on this line, over there on the other line. And so they didn't have to try and do it all. They'd just have one of us do it. And 9 times out of 10, it was me
Yeah.
Yeah.
because I didn't want to go home. I had worked so hard
Yeah.
to be on a show like this that I wanted to ride the wave until it hit land.
Yeah.
And I'm so happy to hear that you like it because
Oh, yeah.
it
She
it
loved
went 5 seasons.
Yeah.
You
it did.
know?
So, did you do all 5 seasons?
Just 4 of the 5.
Okay.
And the first 4, after the first 4, Disney went, as I understand it,
Mhm.
Disney told, asked Brian if he could eliminate 1 or 2 puppeteers because it was a lot of puppeteers.
Yeah.
It was a very expensive show. I don't know why eliminating 1 or 2 would make much difference, but okay, whatever.
Right.
And they kind of voted me off the island.
Oh.
And one of the nails in the coffin, if you will, was Kevin Clash himself. He said, oh, anybody can do the arms. Well,
Oh,
this is the
man.
problem with being a puppeteer. When you
Right.
make it look easy, people
Yeah.
feel anyone can do it.
Right.
Brian even said that he says, if I look at the spreadsheet of hours worked,
Mhm.
most of you guys work about 40, 45 hours. Terri works 60 to 80.
Yeah.
Do you understand that if we let her go,
Yeah.
you guys are going to have to step up and do
Right.
the work? She's been taking it because you guys want to go home early. She wants to stay.
Yeah.
Not because I wanted to be anything impressive. I had just worked so hard towards this.
Yeah.
Right.
I didn't want to go home and I wanted to be in this environment as much as possible because I had had so many that I loved
Yeah.
just
Yeah.
die on the vine, and I would go, oh man,
Yeah.
oh man, like a million times, So when Dinosaurs was a hit, and then it was a hit, and then we went 4 years, I said, I want to ride until it tells me
yeah.
it's done.
And it's so crazy how that show, like, it relates to today too. They went through climate change.
Mhm.
They went through everything that we're going through. So not to say that Jim Henson was a foreshadower, but
Yeah.
a lot of the similarities between the episodes that they aired versus what we're going through.
It's a brilliant show, and I hear Disney
Yeah.
Plus appararily is going to be airing it again.
Oh.
I've
Everybody
heard
is
that
telling me
too.
that it's
Oh.
I've heard that too, but I haven't seen it. So,
Mhm.
it's one of
Yeah.
those things I'm hoping, but I'm not expecting.
yeah.
So
Give me a
if they
shout
do-
out, but I
do
think with
try-
COVID-19, you get to have it. I'll bet you I think people are going, oh my God, COVID-19, nobody's going
Yeah.
to theaters. What do we got?
Yeah.
So if they do air it, do you get royalties off of it for being the puppeteer?
Absolutely.
Good
Yeah.
for you.
Nice.
Yeah.
Okay.
Good. That's
All right.
awesome.
Yeah, that would be an exciting thing. But what's
So
more
say it-
exciting is the new generation gets to see it.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah. That's
And it
that's
is a
for
show
sure.
everybody cared about. Everybody who was a part of that production,
Right.
the
Yeah.
best writers in the world, I think, were on that show.
This
Yeah.
is great.
And everybody is a brilliant performer, actor, voice person, and every show was done with this love and meticulous stuff. And I'm just blown away at how good it was and what a wonderful part it was to be.
Yeah.
My 4th year, going into my 5th year, Brian Henson said, I want to pull you from the show. Don't feel bad that they voted you off the island. Pretty much, Brian said, I'm going to put you on the Flintstones. And so he carried me over into the Flintstones.
Right.
and I worked on the Flintstones movies.
Yeah.
One of the reasons was because on Dinosaurs, Brian kept saying, my father kept saying, you have so much ambition, and I'm not really seeing your ambition, Terri. You don't want to be another character. You don't make demands. And I said, Brian, I am third gorilla from the left, basically, in Dinosaurs. If I'm not Baby Sinclair, I'm playing background characters. I'm playing walk-on characters. I may have a line or two, whatever. But I'm basically there to help everybody else because it's a team. I'm there to help everybody else get the job done. So we had these boxes that had these big one systems in them, right? And mine was always, you know, if you're a background character, a lot of times they were busted.
Mm-hmm.
So a control that should be up like this was down here.
Yeah.
So I learned how to work it like this. And
You're
then
like
this
rigging it with duct tape.
yeah, well, I mean, you're supposed to be doing it like this, but it would fall. And John Criswell, who was head of the mechanics, he'd go, I'll fix that when I get to it. I go, never mind, I got it. I'll figure it out. I'll figure it out. Or if something was wrong with the animatronics and my background character's jaw would go,
Oh.
I'd say, wire it shut, I'll blink the eyes. And then I would tell the super performer, you know, because we're background.
Yeah.
So the super performer would go like this and I'd blink the eyes.
Yeah.
No one ever did, you know? So basically my job was to help the mechanics as much as, because when you've got 5 characters who are on all the time, you've got Fran, you've got Earl, you've got Robbie, you've got Charlene, and you've got Baby.
Yeah.
If any one of those 5 has a problem like this, they need it fixed.
Right.
You know, and they need it fixed yesterday. So you can imagine these characters, if it goes down, deal with the 5. Don't deal with, you know, the guy who's got to walk through the screen.
Yeah.
But puppeteers are different. Some would go, I can't work this way. And you would be like, hey, I'm fine. I'm cool. Just wire his mouth shut while walking by, or whatever I can do to help you guys out. And that's what I did, because you gotta, you know, and this is what I said to Brian, my character, if it is walking across the back of the screen or it's raising its hand or whatever, it's not as important as the leads. And so the mechanics can't be taxed worrying about the character that's in the back that doesn't have any lines and doesn't, you know, you've got to help them out. And Brian kept thinking that was, you know, lip service. He used to think, yeah. So when I got Flintstones, he put me in a top position so that I was able to prove myself. And sure, when I had all my equipment working, But the reality of it is, when my equipment wasn't working, I still could do it. You know, you could do it. It taught me a lot to just go with the flow. So it was a great show. And then I got to go and be on Flintstones, which was another fun, wonderful experience where I could meet some people that I had always admired.
Yeah.
And it was great. So fun.
How do you feel about the retheming of Splash Mountain? Because you have have so much work into it, and you're also biracial, so I think you see it from both sides. What are your thoughts on that?
It's not racist to me. I was surprised when people said it was racist, because Disneyland would never make a racist attraction. I have to tell you, they are so concerned about pleasing everybody, and you can't please everybody.
Right.
So that would be my first thing. They wanted to make it the joy of Zippity Doo Dah, the Happy Rabbit, the happy, you know, they pulled out things like the Tar Baby and stuff like that. But it really wasn't about the Uncle Remus. It was about the joyful characters that came from there.
Right.
But you can sit and explain that all away. And if people are saying, no, I still think it's racist. So now as Disneyland, you got to think about it.
Yeah.
Number one, you've got to think about, as Disneyland, or if you're looking outside looking in, it's not going to happen overnight.
Right.
And Disneyland could turn and say, we really don't have the budget for it. It's not going to happen.
Yeah.
You know, especially after COVID.
Right.
You know, we're not going to be changing it anytime soon. I hope you guys are patient, because it's not going to happen.
Yeah.
But let's talk about, I wrote to Tony Baxter, and I said to him, I texted him, and I said, rumor has it you're going to be working on the Splash thing. And he says, yeah, it looks like they're going to bring me back to work on it. I'm just thrilled they're bringing him back into the Disney umbrella, because he was our champion. Yeah. And when he left, a lot of things happened that I think if he had been there would not have, because he really knows how to protect the brand. He's all about the brand. He's been there since he's very young. He loves the park like his own. And so you don't have a better guy than Tony Baxter. But He even says that the solution may not be Princess and the Frog. Okay. And I think the first thing I heard when I heard Princess and the Frog was, okay, who's out there that's black? What kind of princess do we have that's black? Ah,
Tiana.
No, that's what it feels like. And I don't want it to feel that way. I don't think anyone of color wants you to look through a Rolodex and say, you know, this is one of the most offensive things I had from Star Wars 7 was they replaced, they took Star Wars, the original film from 77. They must have laid it out and they must have said, okay, we can change this person to a black guy. Okay, that's one. And we can make this person a woman. Okay, that's two.
Right. They're just checking off the diversity boxes.
Yeah.
I don't want to be made to feel that this is what you're doing.
Yeah.
Right.
I want you to give me diversity because they deserve to be diverse. We all know this. It's not rocket science. Make them different people.
Yeah.
You know, but don't make me think that you're sitting there with a list going, there's one.
Yeah, that's true.
I just really, it really drives me crazy.
Yeah.
In the situation with Princess and the Frog, which is a great little movie, it's a fun little movie, we have another problem. And I knew what Tony was going to say. And, but I'll say it. I won't say that Tony even said it. I won't even cop to that. But one of the other problems is the voodoo aspects in Princess of the Frog.
Yeah.
Okay. And when you have to understand when you're an amusement park, you got to be concerned with everybody.
Yeah.
And there's very many religious people who will just not allow this to happen.
I remember when the pirates chased the women before there was food on the plate. So I get it. I get
You can still see that in Paris, by the way.
Really?
Because the Paris says no pirate would chase a woman for the food.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah, exactly.
Are you insane, Disney?
Yeah.
Right?
No, not in Paris. In Paris, we tell the truth.
Yeah.
So you can see it in person. It's actually so refreshing.
Yeah.
Oh man, that's nice.
But yes, that is exactly the point. That is exactly the point that you both make so well, is that they are so worried about being politically correct. Unfortunately, Princess and the Frog does not fill that bill.
I do hope, I think French Market could go for a retheming, and I think it would be a perfect Tiana's Place if they want to bring more Princess Frog in it, because it has that built-in stage.
Yeah.
But I was kind of excited because we were sitting down with the family and we were talking like, oh, where could you put it? Because Facilier is a big, we love him in our house. I'm a big villain fan. So we're like, oh, you know that dark, like where you get the wettest, where you're doing this and it's just dark. You can have the heads floating. It could be a real... But you're right. You don't think of it from the aspect of...
You just made us think.
Yeah.
I'm a park and I got to make the religious ride happy too.
Yeah.
And then that's not going to make everybody... I mean, to be a park owner is very challenging, but you both touch on something that is very interesting. And that is that in Terri's Tribe, on my Patreon page, I said, what if the ride is not racist, but just tired?
Yeah.
What if it's a tired ride? What if Disney comes to you, you're an Imagineer, and Disney says to you, this ride is getting a little tired. What would you put in there? Now what you want to do is do something different.
Yeah.
Now just do it and post it on social media. And we started to do that, and then we got a little ways away to it, full disclosure. We got away from it a little bit. But one of the most fun things that came out of it was Moana.
That would be cool.
And the reason I love Moana is that it utilizes the water.
Yeah.
Check. Speaking of checking.
Right? Get the list out.
Get the list out. Check.
You know, does it use the path already created? Disney likes this.
Yeah.
Check.
Does it use water? Disney loves that.
Yes.
Now, what would you put, just like the two of you were talking about, what would you put in the various areas? And we automatically thought that crazy chicken would be great to guide you on the front of the boat. So we're repurposing the boat now. Hey, Moana uses a boat. Ooh.
There you go. There's another check.
In place of the rabbit, we can put the chicken.
There you go.
You see?
Yeah.
And so this became a fun thing on our Patreon page to say, this is incredible, you know, and you go down the way and you say, okay, here's the bear sculpture. What would be there? That could be that God.
Maui,
Maui.
you put Maui right there.
You get, and everybody started to get excited.
Yeah.
And if you're someone who really does want Princess and the Frog, just like you all did, do the same thing.
Yeah.
Only you post it and you design it, because if you want to be a Disney Imagineer, here's the key. You can listen to many Imagineers and they're all absolutely correct. You do need to study drawing. You do need to make sure that you're creating stuff and documenting it and training and learning and studying. Yeah. But what can you do now? I'm one of these people who when you're asking me this question, I think what you're asking is, what can I do now? Yeah, right. I'm 7, I'm 8, I'm 10, I'm 30. I could go to school, but what can I do now? Mm-hmm. Well, what many Imagineers didn't have that you all have is the internet.
Yep.
Is social media. So let's be a little bit more future thinking. And you put the Imagineer hat on your head and you zip up that jacket, you put that thinking cap or that wizard hat that Mickey wears, which is our symbol. And you ask yourself, what do I want to do? If I were Imagineer, what would I be going for? If you're going to be someone who's a concept artist, pick something and then conceive it and then share it.
Yeah.
And while you're sharing it, share your dream.
Yeah.
So this is what I've told to a lot of people. You could create the concept art for this Splash Mountain. I decided to try it. What if Splash Mountain's tired? And I want to make it, what would it look like if Princess and the Frog did it? And you have your drawings and maybe you build a model. And while you're talking about it, I've always wanted to do this as an Imagineer. And I think this would be great. Oh, look, I built a model. Oh, look, I made a movie. Oh, look, I did these little miniature characters. They're watching. They're really watching now, because where else are they going to go?
Right.
But the point is that you can be the one who designs your destiny, period, in the story. I met a young man who was 8 years old. He was building roller coasters. 8.
Wow.
And he said, how do I get to do this for the parks? And I said, post some of that. Have your dad do the filming. And you stand up there at 8 and go, I've always wanted to be an Imagineer. Watch.
Yeah.
I mean, they're blown away from people that do this amazing stuff.
Yeah.
And people get hired. People get hired because they're watching social media. So you just don't know who's watching.
Yeah.
And the main thing, if you're an artist, is be sure to post your dream. Don't just post your art over and over again, because we're like lemmings. We will just like it. Like. If that's not what you really want, because even Disney could go in and go, like, you want to let people know you want to be a what?
You sculpted the model for Brer Fox for 3 different Disney parks. Is this correct?
Yeah, this fox, actually, I did one fox and then they just put him everywhere.
They just copied that same fox. They're like, here.
Make 3. We'll put him everywhere. We're on a budget. Put that fox everywhere.
Right.
And then you designed the drop. Is this correct for Splash Mountain?
What happened was when you sculpt Splash Mountain, you're a team of people and you're all sculpting your little hearts out.
Yeah.
As Imagineers. Usually for Splash Mountain Tokyo, we had 10, 15 people on that thing because it's the biggest Splash Mountain of any Splash Mountain. And because Tokyo likes space. And another reason Tokyo is working so well, because they like space. And so I sculpted the texture for the boat, not the boat, but the texture for the boat, the double log that you see both in Florida and in Japan. And then I did the rabbit on the front. And I was so happy it was an honor to do that little rabbit.
Yeah.
But what happens is they always give main drop to the sculptor or sculptors who have most added to the project.
Oh, okay.
And that's what I did. My friend Anne was behind by 3 weeks, and she called me up and she said, Terri, I need you to get in here. We need to catch up as quickly as possible. So I went in, and I had been gone from Imagineering for, I'd say, probably about 5 months or so. And I went in, and the person who was interviewing me said, this is what we're going to pay you. And I said, no. And she says, excuse me, what? You heard we're Disney, right?
Yeah.
And I said, yeah, but I just finished working for Donald Trump, and Donald Trump had me sculpt his Taj Mahal sign, and he paid me $65 an hour. So this pittance that you're offering me, you're going to have to come up a little bit. I don't expect you to pay that much.
Yeah.
You're not Trump, but, and she just looked at me. Like she was hearing a different language, you know?
Yeah.
Wow.
I always say, if you're going to apply to something and you really feel strongly about that in your heart, be willing to walk away from it.
Yeah.
That's the hard part, is if you aren't willing to walk away from it, someone can really take advantage of you.
Yeah.
But if you're willing to walk away from it, you can. And so she said, I'm sorry, we're not going to go higher than whatever that amount was.
Yeah.
And I got up and I walked out, and the door almost latched behind me before she said, hey. I said, yes. She said, you're really going to walk out? I said, yes, we're done, you know? And so she said, sit down. And she called up. And if you are me, she was like this. Hi, this girl is really weird.
Oh my God.
Yeah, she's asking for more money. I mean, seriously, she almost left. How important is she that do we have to keep her?
Really?
You know, pretty much. And I just sat there like this.
Yeah.
And my friend on the other end said, I gotta have her. Make it happen, make it happen, make it happen.
Yeah.
So the woman said, okay, you can go talk to the person who's in charge of the model shop. And I went and I sat down in front of that gentleman. And that guy was like this. Okay, well. And he said something like little missy or lady or ma'am or all of those things that women just love to hear. Okay, so young lady or whatever. You're just like. He says, tell you what we're going to do. He says, you want to be paid more. We don't think you're really worth being paid more. And I'm like, how do you know? Have you seen my work?
Yeah.
And he's like, well, we've heard about it, you know? And I said, you want to see it? I'll show you.
Yeah.
He's like, no, we're good. He said, but here's what we're going to do. We're going to pay your fee, but we're going to make you an independent contractor. Now, so many people want to be adopted by Disney, but independent contractors like.
That was like perfect for you. Yeah.
You're like, yeah.
But I said, okay. And they said, we're going to give you a 3-week trial.
Mm-hmm.
And then after 3 weeks, if we like you, will keep you for the 9 months.
Oh.
And I was like this, and I said, all right, I'll tell you what.
Oh.
I'll work for 3 weeks, and if I like you, I'll stay.
Oh, wow.
And he was like, you are weird. You know,
Wow.
you know who we are? Yeah, I know who you are.
Yeah.
And so I went to work, and my first day, Imagineering is structured to, there's lots of little cubbies and cabbies and stuff. And on my first day, I went in at 6 o'clock in the morning, and I met with my friend Ann, and I said, where do you need me most? And she said, I need this blocked out. So I had designed these tools for foam carving. I jumped up on the table, I blocked it out, and then I did what is called, in many people know, is a chi call out. So I went like this, and foam went flying. By 8 o'clock, the dust cleared. I was standing there with the tools I had created, breathing. And there were Imagineers all looking in the curtains like this.
What is going on?
And the dust cleared, and there was like a very roughed out mountain there. And Anne turned and said, did I say 3 weeks? Maybe 2.
So, oh my gosh, how amazing was that?
Such a good time.
Yeah, it was a really good time. I hope you guys enjoyed that too. Dinosaur.
Baby Sinclair.
Who knew?
Not the mama, my heart. I was so excited.
Who knew that those arms was Terri, huh? And then
yeah.
Splash Mountain.
That was amazing. Just, I can't believe she had the courage to walk in, say, this is what I'm worth, pay it or not. And they said no. And she was getting ready to walk out.
Yeah.
And, like, just, you know, like,
especially
incredible.
for a woman at
Yeah.
that time. I mean, that's just incredible.
Yeah.
She's an incredible woman. We have another episode coming up next Tuesday. So don't forget to check us out next Tuesday. Thank you for watching. Thank you for subscribing. Please subscribe and like this. I know y'all like it.
Click.
Do the little click, ding, ding, ding. I know y'all like this. So more of this to come.
Potentially two
more, yeah.
2 more. We just have so much
Yeah.
content with Terri. 3 hours. It was amazing, though.
It was so cool. And I mean, I'm having Terri withdrawals already.
I know. And we watched her live stream this morning.
So thanks for joining us. Thank you for subscribing. Thank you for liking us. Keep it up, and we'll keep it up too.
So with that, our movie quote, well, it's not a movie quote today, it's a ride quote. And in honor of Splash Mountain,
everybody's got a laughing place.
Trouble is, most folks won't take the time to look for it.
So look for it.
Bye.
Bye.